Hi everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you get outside tomorrow. The weather is supposed to be beautiful. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to go read all day. So excited. So excited. On that note, it gets you in the mode of thinking about the summer a little bit, maybe. Our registration is out for summer lessons. If you are a beginner or if you've taken lessons somewhere else and want to try a new teacher, summer's a beautiful time to come try us out. It's low commitment, it's loosey goosey. Lessons are scheduled around your summer schedule. So please come out. We have lessons in piano and violin and viola and cello and guitar, acoustic and electric, bass guitar, ukulele, drums, voice. We have all of those instruments. So come try us. We have a package of 6 lessons or 10. And if you're gone for something in the summer, if you're going on vacation, you could skip a few weeks and then come back. So it's very loosey goosey. It's a great time. Also, we have our voice class that will be for third grade all the way up through high school. They're doing musical theater and pop and Disney music. Come sing with a group or sing a solo if you'd like to. They'll be meeting on Tuesdays at 5:30 throughout the summer. If you're an adult and you love to sing, we are doing an adult chorus this summer. So come be in community with your other singers. We're going to be holding it on Thursday evenings in various times in the summer. Come sing. We're going to do a whole bunch of different styles. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are also going to be having a couple camps this summer. We have a drums camp that will be the last full week of June. We're going to be doing drum set and marching band drums and band drums, learning all those techniques for beginner all the way to advanced, first all the way to 12th grade. It's an all-day camp. Come work with our teaching expert. Strings camp will be July 21st through 25th. Beginner to advanced students, pretty much all the ages within the school age. They are going to be working on chamber stuff, ensemble work, big ensemble, small ensemble stuff, and almost all of our strings faculty will be running that camp. Also, that will be a full day thing, so reach out if you're interested in that. We are also doing a musical this summer, first 2 weeks of August in the evenings. It is open to all school age students. We're going to be doing Mary Poppins in review. It's actually going to be free for all students who are taking lessons at the school. We are putting our own take on Mary Poppins. So please come out for that. We'll be doing 4 performances of that in August. All right, so I wanted to talk today a little bit more about boundaries. So a few weeks ago, we talked about boundaries and how if we're in working relationship as a musician or in our significant relationships and in our relationships in our lives with our family, our friends, all that, in order for us to be able to maintain the relationship, when we hold boundaries, there must be connection first and trust. There's just got to be that connection first. So let's talk a little bit more about boundaries. So what are boundaries? It's such a buzzword these days. Boundaries are the limits and the rules that we set on our relationships, what we can handle and what we cannot handle, the things that we can do and what we can't do. When we're exhausted, being able to say no to something and, you know, when we're a musician, the things that we know that we are capable of doing and being at places at certain times, and then, the times we're not able to do that, being very clear on those things. And I want to talk a little bit about the reaction to boundaries, because if you're anything like me, what has been an impediment to holding boundaries all the time is not the boundary itself, but it's the reaction to the boundary. I've had not great reactions to the boundaries I've upheld in my life sometimes. So I'm sometimes very worried about what is going to happen. It doesn't always feel so safe. And so I want to talk about the reactions. Um, I will say one more thing about boundaries, and this is something that I am learning, and I know a lot of people out there are probably learning, that boundaries are not set so that we can change other people. And that is something I am working on. And but yes, boundaries are not something that we do to change other people. Boundaries are for ourselves and being able to protect ourselves and to it's almost like a part of who we are, like what we can, because everybody's going to be a little bit different about what they can handle and what they cannot handle, and what they can do and what they cannot do, and needing time alone and you need time to, there's just all these different things. Everybody's completely different. So being able to set the boundary and then not having a completely like unsafe or scary reaction to it. And I've definitely in my life have had some interesting reactions to boundaries that I've upheld as a music school and a music teacher, but then also as a person. So what is something that we can do when someone sets a boundary? Someone says, no, I can't come to your party. No, I can't come to your rehearsal tonight. What can you do? Do you get upset with them? Do you yell at them? Do you tell them, all right, I'm done. I'm no longer involved in this? Um, or or do you allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling if it brings somebody saying no to you or somebody's opposing them, do you allow yourself to feel that feeling, that not great feeling? I feel like no. I feel like we as a society are taught to push forward, to defend ourselves, to do whatever we can so that we can feel honored. Because for some reason for us, when someone upholds about it, it feels like dishonored sometimes. And sometimes rightfully so. Sometimes boundaries are held up as shields, as divisive things. And yeah, doesn't feel great. But whatever it is, for whatever reason that they're upholding it, allowing yourself to feel whatever it is that's feeling, but not acting on it. And that's the tough part. Not acting on it. So not wanting to like completely cross it, not wanting to but why? Those things. To just accept and just to feel the feeling. Give yourself some space. um then when you give yourself space to actually feel it, and you might not feel great feelings, you might be feeling really bad feelings about this, you might be feeling bad feelings towards the other person, it might have brought up some stuff that you don't like to admit, but being self-compassionate and then self-soothe. So what does that mean? So I don't think it means to limit yourself on how long you can feel whatever it is you're feeling. I've done that a lot. I feel like, well, I feel bad for this about a second and now I have to move on. But I don't think that's how things work. Most of the time I think you have to really allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. And then, give yourself understanding. Like don't judge yourself because of it. Don't be that voice in your head is like, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this? Why am I thinking bad thoughts? Like, why am I so hurt by this? I shouldn't be hurt by this. But that's a story. And if you're like me, you're a story writer. So being able to, if you do write stories, maybe being a self-soothing would be to write other possibilities, that it's not just like one thing. It's not that you've done something wrong, but that it could be something else not having anything to do with you. And maybe like writing out all of the possibilities of what it could be. Uh, and for some people, that might not be good. That might be too time consuming. That might be just too much. But for those who are like me, who are very much detailed in that way and like seriously write stories all the time, it is very good for me to like completely write all the possible scenarios out. And so that's a way to self-soothe, going and doing something that you love right after that, but that has nothing to do with that situation, so that you're completely getting away from it. And then you can approach it later when you're not so emotionally charged, but doing something for yourself in that moment, because obviously the person who's holding the boundary is doing something for themselves, right? This is about them. So why not meet that with the same energy and do something for yourself at the same time? I don't know, just an idea. Also considering the impact of the boundary. So we've talked about writing the other stories, but is there something bigger at play here? Is there something more in line with that person's character? I mean, is it something bigger than yourself? Is it something bigger than the two people that are playing this out, right? Um, Trying to see things from their perspective. So trying to put yourself in their shoes. Why do you think, I mean, if you know this person at all, if you're working with them as a musician, maybe knowing them a little bit and knowing why they're doing this, that they're not, again, it's not doing it to you or because of you, but it's something about them. Um, and then a very important one is acknowledging the boundary. So the person has taken the time to do this, knowing that it's, not going to be liked by everyone. acknowledging it and like honoring it. And so not, again, not stepping all over it and not like trashing it, but just like honoring it. And that's something that you can verbalize, right? Maybe that not feeling how you know, how you feel about it, you might not want to verbalize, but honoring it and saying, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And then I would say this one conditionally about negotiating the boundary. So if you get to a place where you're not so emotionally charged by it, you've done some self-soothing, you've given yourself some time, some love, then maybe you can go back and have a little conversation about this because if this is stepping on your boundaries, on your stuff, then there I think it's worth having a negotiation about. And I'm not sure that that's always been the case. Again, because in my experience, boundaries have been used as divisive um things, not all the time, but some of the time have used been used to separate, and that they're overly rigid. So we don't want to be overly rigid in our boundaries too. And I think it's just really trial and error a little bit. But again, not holding the boundary so that you can try to change the other person. And I think that happens quite a bit. I think that happens quite a bit. So, but having a reaction, I think that when we react in a more self-compassionate way, I think we do wind up changing people. We do, we do, change things, even if that's not what our intention is. And we shouldn't go into it thinking that that's what's going to happen. But I think it's important that we start to react differently to boundaries, because I think then people wouldn't use boundaries so much as divisive tactics and to be overly rigid to, shut people out. It's an interesting conversation, and I'm open to other ideas. I'm learning right along with you guys. I'm saying this stuff not as any expert. I have never claimed to be an expert in any of this. I am exploring myself through reading and through therapy and through um, listening to great minds on this. And it's a journey, and especially for a recovering people pleaser, it's a lifelong journey, and it's kind of it's kind of cool. All right. Hold your boundary. Don't act badly to other people's boundaries. And if it really bothers you, get to the place where you can negotiate, where you can talk to that person and feel your feelings. Boundaries sometimes just suck. They just suck. All right. See you later.